Housewife, and I'm coming to you with some breaking news or the latest news that hit today. Okay, it hit today. So although it's late, I felt I must get this out. Okay, I didn't want to go to bed until I get this out. I'm tired, very tired, but uh, I think it needs to be out. Okay, this is very important to me because uh, let me just say it's sad. It's sad. It's been sad from the beginning. Um, but before we get started, let me go ahead and just get my house rules out of the way first, okay? And then we can go on with the story, okay? Thank you guys. Welcome to the Pink House, okay? Thank you guys. And if you all can do one thing for me, go ahead and hit that like button because that would help keep me in the algorithm, and that's very important. Okay. Also, if you can, if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to Pinkie the Housewife, or you can, if you have, subscribe to my second channel, which is Pink Global. Okay, that would help me out. Pink Global is on the way of being monetized. It's halfway there. We just need to get it over the hump. All right. Thank you guys. I do want to thank you for doing those things for me. Now let's go ahead and get on with the matter at hand. The story that came to me just a few minutes ago, I would say about an hour ago. Okay. Came across my desk, which is everybody know Twitch. Everybody know him. Okay. He's and I want to go ahead with other outlets carrying the story as well. But credit, I'm crediting CBS Morning with Gayle King. All right. And that information will be down in my description box below my video. And we're going to, let me just say, Twitch. Everybody remembers him. I remember watching him on, you know, dancing. That's how everybody became to love the guy known as Twitch. You know, he was a freestyler. We call it a freestyler. Okay, most people or freestyle hip hop dancer to be correctly, but we just said he was a freestyle dancer. Okay, I guess that meaning the same thing. But he passed away at so young, age 40. Three beautiful kids, and he was married. He was married. Okay, his mom, Connie Balls, his you know, and Alexander and Stanford Rose. I mean, you know, um, you know, but his name was Stephen Warren Balls, born September the 29th, 1982, and passed away. Now, when I say everybody knows Twitch, everybody knows Twitch. He was one of my favorite dancers on, So You Think You Can Dance. I remember when he got on there. I watched the whole thing. And then he last everybody, been knowing him from the Ellen DeGeneres show. I didn't watch it, but, I would see it on TV every once in a while. But I didn't personally watch the show, but I always knew who he was and everything. He was doing great, taking care of his family. He was, freestyle hip hop dancer. But it's a lot been going on now since his passing, and everybody know about his passing. He was found in a hotel not far from his home. And I'm not going to talk. I'll let his family go into it. We'll just watch the video together. How about that? So sorry about that. Here we go.
And now to our exclusive interview with the family of Stephen Twitch Boss. He became a household name as a DJ and co-executive producer of the Ellen DeGeneres Show. but he first rose to fame as a dancer, and boy, could he dance. That is how he met his wife, fellow dancer Allison Holker. She's a great dancer too. The couple were raising 3 children together when he took his own life back in December of 2022. It's what happened after his death, including Allison's recent release of a memoir that has fueled tensions between his widow and his family. We sat down with Stephen's mother, Connie Boss Alexander, and his brother, Jay Rose, after they reached out to us at Connie's home in Arizona. This interview took place right before Allison's book was released. What do you miss most? What do you want us to know about him as his mom, and what do you miss most?
That face.
That face.
Whenever we were apart and we would get back together, the first thing I would say is, oh, there's my face. There's my face.
Most people know Stephen Boss as Twitch, a charismatic dancer and daytime personality. But to Connie Boss Alexander, Stephen was her loving son.
He was kind and caring, and I know that sounds cliche, but he truly was kind and caring and always wanting to make sure you were okay and taking care of you. We're a very affectionate family, so very affectionate. He always kissed me on my forehead.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah. Connie last texted with Stephen on Monday, December 12th, 2022. She says it was an ordinary conversation. They talked about work and his children's Christmas list. The next morning, Connie says she got a phone call from his wife, Allison Holker, asking if she had heard from him. Hours later, he was found dead in a hotel room with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Connie's brother, Alan, told her the terrible news.
And I just remember Alan saying, Connie, he's gone.
Mm.
And I just dropped. You can't imagine those words.
I can. Connie says she is still processing Stephen's death and what she says happened next when she flew to California to be with Allison and the children.
The intent was to grieve together, be a family together, because we were family, we were boss. And we wanted to be there for it. We were, trying to figure out what we were going to do or what she wanted to do in terms of plans. And then I got a phone call saying, we need you guys to sign non-disclosure agreements. And we were like, why? What's going on? What is this for? And she says, well, somebody in the family has sold a story to a magazine. And we were like, what are you talking about? Who did this? And she said, Granddad. And that's Stephen's grandfather. And now, if you know my dad, he is the most respected, the most integrity, would never do that. So a magazine did call him, and in the throes of grief, my father answered the phone and they asked him
Questions.
Right. And he's answering,
answered them.
right. He's answering the questions, and, saying we're grieving. We don't know what happened, whatever the answers were. But it was at that point that it became, you guys are doing this. We need you to sign this. And we were like, no, that is not true. And that's kind of where it started. It went,
So that's when the friction
yes,
started,
yes.
asking for the NDA.
It went downhill from there.
You were asked to sign an NDA to go to the funeral?
It became, if you don't sign, you will not be able to see him and you will not be able to participate.
Connie says she signed a revised version of the non-disclosure agreement so that she could see her son before he was cremated. In her now released memoir, Allison Holker expressed concern about pictures of Stephen leaking to the public.
To make me sign a document to see the child that I brought into the world, I can't even put into words. what that feels like.
Mhm.
And, you know, this was a sensational story. So
Yeah.
definitely there are going to be people out there who would take advantage of that. So I truly understand that. I guess my issue with it is that we are family. I'm his mother. What did you honestly think I was going to do?
Mhm.
You know, his brothers, his grandparents, his uncle, his aunts. What did you think we were going to do?
Now, just over 2 years since Stephen's death, a People magazine article has become a new point of contention. It included details from Allison's book about Stephen's marijuana use and Allison allegedly finding a, quote, cornucopia of other drugs in the home he shared with her and their 3 children after Stephen passed. And when you read it for the first time and heard it, what did you think? How did you react?
Immediately it was, oh my God. And then it was, this is going to be out there for the kids to see.
If you've ever dreamed of owning an apartment complex and you live near one of these,
Article also included details about Stephen's private journals, where Allison says he alluded to being sexually abused as a child.
I guess my thought is, first of all, that was his story to tell.
Were you aware that that was even a possible issue for him? You know,
No.
in the People article, there she alludes that he may have been, that he seemed to indicate that he had been sexually abused by a trusted male figure in his life.
No,
You were not aware
No.
of any of that.
no.
Those details were also a shock to Stephen's younger brother, Dre Rose. So did you know about any of these issues before the People magazine article came out? Cornucopia of drugs, including mushrooms, pills, and other substances, implying that he had a serious drug issue.
I knew that recreationally he's used or tried things. That wasn't a shock to me. This cornucopia of drugs that had to be Googled, we don't even know if we don't know anything to be true.
Finish that sentence. We don't even know if those were his?
Yes, I mean, really,
Mhm.
it's hearsay. It's someone else's version. And if that is the truth, there could have been a better way to bring that to the family, and then we discuss, what that meant.
So you wish there would have been a conversation with the family,
Yes.
that I found this.
Yeah, huh? Do
Did
you know
were-
anything about it?
Were you aware of possible sexual abuse in his
No.
childhood? You knew
No,
nothing
that was
about
new.
that.
So that
was a shock to you
was
to hear
new.
that.
Yes. It was a shock to me. It was a shock to our father. Because when that comes up, it's like, well, hold on, a
Who
male
was
figure
it?
in the
A male
family.
figure,
right?
yeah.
So now you have our family looking at each other like, well, what happened? And
Mhm.
we didn't know anything of that nature.
Mhm. When we talk about drugs, and she didn't use the word that he was an addict, but she did say that there were a lot of drugs. Couldn't she have known things about him that you two didn't? Mom wouldn't know, you wouldn't
It's a
know.
possibility. I mean,
The
they were
wife
married.
often knows more than the family, even as close as the family is. You don't give her a pass on that she may know things that you all didn't know
I think
about him.
there are things that she knows that we didn't know, but also know that there are things about him that she didn't know.
Dre, who worked with Stephen, says his brother would often confide in him about struggling with issues like imposter syndrome, and together they would come up with ways to tackle his insecurities. He says Stephen told him that those conversations were difficult with Allison.
So in my opinion, our conversation that he had with me, he felt silenced, like he couldn't get it out.
He felt silenced in his own home, you're
Yes,
saying?
often.
Mhm.
Often. I mean, he loved his wife. He
Yeah.
loved those kids.
Yes.
And he would definitely give them his last. But in any situation in which you can't have a conversation and get resolved, it becomes one-sided. And I believe, because you asked about their relationship, I can say that there were many conversations, there was no resolve.
Mhm.
But he would always say to me, this is life. The lights are on. I'll figure it out.
A lot has been made about the NDA, that the family was asked to sign an NDA, to go to the funeral, to have the wake. What is your take about this NDA?
The NDA made my brother's life and experiences pretty much intellectual property.
The family shared a copy of the initial confidentiality agreement, which Dre says was sent by Allison's assistant 3 days after Stephen's death. It names Allison Holker, her family, and Stephen Boss as beneficiaries and says that confidential information about their professional or business endeavors, personal lives, and any photographs, films, or videos cannot be disclosed, even in the course of casual discussions to any person or entity. In a revised version of that NDA, the Boss family and Allison's team changed the terms of the agreement from an unlimited time frame to apply only to the information learned between the time of Stephen's death and his memorial service.
It was presented to us as, we don't want pictures at the wake and funeral and things of that nature.
That's a fair request.
Two things can be true.
Yeah.
But if you have that in the beginning of the NDA and then in the fine print, it says all these other things that are included, that's the concern.
I just got paid $60,000 for my car crash from
People magazine article was published, members of the Boss family and the public began reacting online.
Yeah.
Allison Holker put out a statement in response to that backlash, saying in part that she hoped by sharing the full story, maybe I can help someone else who might see themselves or a loved one in Stephen. What do you say to that?
Mm-mm.
I see no accountability in that statement.
Mm-mm.
I see no accountability in the fact that the family had to find out about these things in the manner that they did. And if that is what you want to convey or share to the public, bringing up someone's journal entries, that's not how you expose it. There could have been, hey, this is my experience and I want to let people know what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
But to use my brother's name and make it seem like he had this serious addiction problem and his sexual abuse allegation, that could have been true. That could have been true, but that isn't. I don't think that's the reason why my brother isn't here today.
You don't? Why do you think your brother isn't here today?
I think that's a question for Allison.
What are you saying, Dre?
I think she knows more than us because she was there. She knows his last known whereabouts. She knows the last conversation they had.
So the way to heal, because ultimately you want to see your grandchildren and you want to see your nieces and your nephews. So what do you do to heal
I
this?
know that. Mm.
And I'm not even saying it's all on you, but what can be done to heal this?
Extend the offer for a conversation.
Dre?
I feel like we've extended our hand the past 2 years and there hasn't been consistency.
Extended outside of social media.
Outside, oh yes.
Yeah, outside of social media.
There's many messages and phone calls where we've been left unread or not acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's change behavior. Like if you make an act that shows kindness, if you embody the spirit that my brother had of kindness and love and light, give that light to his family. You want to help people, help his family heal because we're going through it as well.
Maybe Mr. Grandma.
Now, in a statement Connie Boss Alexander sent us after finishing Allison Holker's book, she said in part, "Devastated does not begin to describe my pain. I am blindsided and heartbroken by the cruel, reckless implications in her book, which not only dishonor my son's memory, but also inflict irreparable harm on our grieving family."
Yeah.
In a statement to CBS News, Allison Holker says this, "Connie has and will continue to be a positive and loving figure in Allison and Stephen's son, Maddox, and daughter Zaya's lives. From grandparents' day at school to family lunches, ice cream dates, and Stephen's brother Cameron's video game meetups with Maddox. We hope to continue these traditions over the years and work together to keep Stephen's memory alive." Now, when they reach out to me, neither one of us were interested in doing a Let's Bash Allison interview, and I don't think that's what this is. They just really wanted people to know from their side.
They want their truths out too.
They want their truth out. They're worried about Stephen's legacy. She's only seen her grandchildren twice since Stephen's death, over 2 years and 2 months ago. She would like to have more contact. We should point out that the autopsy report showed no drugs or alcohol were found in Stephen's system at the time of his death. That was very important. They wanted people to know that. So it's a family in pain, I think, on both sides. And I'm hoping that they can figure out a way that they can come together. so that they can heal.
They are all
see the
dealing
children
with
and
the,
see the
the
children.
grief and the trauma
Yeah.
from what happened. Yeah, it's
Because
unfortunate.
it was a shock.
I do feel for Stephen's family. I do. My heart breaks for them.
Yeah.
And that's his blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really hoping they can find a way to come together and put all this. And there is a lot, as you've just laid out, for the kids, if for nothing else.
Yeah, it's hard to hear that they learned those things in the media the same time we all did.
Difficult sit down, but you did a good job.
Oh, thank you.
Did you?
Okay, guys. That was a lot. When I say a lot, I really mean that was a lot. Okay? For the grandparents, the family, his mom, and his brother. Let me show you Twitch. I'm saddened by that. Because there was a dance that Twitch did, and a couple more that he did. I would copy, and I'm not even a dancer. I would copy, try to do, and I'm not a dancer and I can't dance, but I would do those dances. I'm going to show, well, I'll show the video. There's, oh my God, I cannot, you know what? I knew there was a lot of stuff going on, and off what I do on social media, I've been following some of it as much as I could, but and it frightened me, because when the grandparents and the uncles said they haven't seen the kids, they only seen them twice since, and he passed away December 2022. This is 2025. 2 times. Twice. That's hard. That's hard. That's very hard. I feel for Twitch mom. I think her name is Connie. Miss Connie. Yeah, I feel for her. Yes, Connie. And I feel for his brother. Not to see the kids, not be able to go down there and see the kids. When something happened, you want to grab your bags, grab your suitcase, and just get to the airport. And I got to be there, thinking you're going down there so y'all can grieve together and find out, oh, hold up. I need you to sign this for a child that you birthed. Look at him and his mom. Every picture, I mean, when you see them, oh my God. He had the best mother in the, oh. I just don't know, guys. I don't know. Let me just show you. I just don't know. I'm feeling this one because I've been following it, but I haven't been following it like do a story on it, that kind of follow. Okay. So this is from his Instagram account. That's him and his mom. If you notice, that's one picture. Okay. But a lot of the pictures, they show him and his mom together. You can tell that mom, she's like me. When I'm with my son, I lay my head on my son's chest. And I can be around him all day and I'll still grab him when we're in the kitchen or somewhere. And I grab him around his waist and just lay my head on his chest. Or I come behind him and lay my head on his back. I only have one son, and I love my son to death. And for her to not being able to see her son is a tragedy in itself. When he was unalived. And the story that they put out there is not the story that we're believing on social media. We're following a different story on social media. This is what she is putting out, Allison, his wife. Everything is alleged, but that's not the story that they got going on social media. Let me just show a video of him dancing. Here's one right here. I'm going to show this, okay? Wait, I can't let the music play, okay? Because I don't want to get distracted. But I know I'm going to have to go back and take that little music out. I'm trying to raise it up. I know I can't. But y'all see him? That's his mom in him. You can see the glow. Now, tWitch did have a glow. He had a glow to be a man. He exudes happiness, fun, bubbly. You can tell he loves his mom. You know, a mom can look at another man child and say, this man loves his mom. Like, you know how they say a girl dad? He's a boy mom. He loved his kids. And I know he loved his wife and his mom and his brother, his family, and his grandfather. The one that they're talking about. I don't believe that his grandfather sold that story. I'm going to pull him up so you all can see. I don't believe that one bit. I think that was, I'm not going to say it, an excuse. Okay? I really do. That's him. That don't seem like the type of family that would do that was alleged. Just my opinion. All right. I'm going to keep y'all. I have not been just following the story. Okay? But I think I am now. I didn't know I imagine it, but to see them and to hear his mom and his brother, especially his mom, I'm feeling heartbroken. Okay, guys, thank you. I guess that was a hard one, guys. All right, thank you, guys, and I'm gonna keep y'all updated on tWitch. Okay.